Right, sir. So, with reference to international business, yes, till today, Madam has completed nearly about two modules, and third module half of the work has been done. Okay, so let us initiate from third module today. Yes, with respect to the concern of globalization. See, globalization is a concept you people have learned it from probably about your eighth standard. It's almost like LPG policy has been accepted by government of India during 1991. Okay, so it's almost like where liberalization, privatization, and globalization, three different concepts. Okay, where we are discussing about the same thing, globalization. See, into this particular globalization, this is also to be called as open door economy system. So do we have a closed door economy system also? That's a question. Okay. Yes, truly speaking, before 1991, we had that closed door economy system where, with respect to this kind of aspect, where when somebody would like to make any kind of promoting their brand internationally, or else making a selling of their products internationally, truly speaking, they need to take permission from government. Nowadays, also they need to take the permission. Okay, and globalization made this particular activity much easier. That is a quite interesting story. Okay, so what exactly this particular globalization is all about? So when you are ready to sell it off your goods and services across the globe, as well as when you are ready to buy from others also, then it is to be concerned with respect to this globalization. Okay, so it is almost such like where you are trying to have a transaction across the globe. Your investment is going to get attract by global scenario. Okay, so that's a major thing of globalization. So your ideas, your culture, even you are going to do the interchange of others ideas. So everything, it is the concentration of globalization. Okay, there are a number of reasons to enter into this particular globalization scenario. So first thing is all about the better resources. See, it is very much sure when you are going to enter into this globalization as a scenario, everyone they are going to start feeling that's about maybe we can make use of others resources, others in the sense of home country and host country. These two will be there. Home country in the sense it is your own, host country in the sense where you are trying to get established. Okay, so when you are entering some other country, host country, very much sure you can go for making use of the human resources over there, material resources over there. Yes, it is going to be one of the feature, one of the reason to enter into globalization. Second thing is about low cost of production. See, this is also to be called as relative advantage. Okay, so that relative advantage, maybe one of the topic will be there concerned with the competitive advantage. Maybe some other time we can also call this as a relative advantage with respect to that cost advantage. See, competitive advantage in the sense maybe I can go for taking the simple consideration. See, coffee, Indians are the best with respect to this coffee. Okay, so a relative competitive advantage is also there. Coffee, it is not only restricted to India, even it is being extended to Sri Lanka, China, correct? So we do have this particular competitive advantage. Now we need to identify where exactly we can go for finding out the best of the best coffee with a fragrance, whether it is there in China, whether it is there in India, whether it is there in Sri Lanka, correct? So now Indian coffee is best. That's the reason you're trying to choose India as a best particular thing for the dealing of any of your transactions with respect to buying of coffee from India, correct? So Even I can go for relative cost advantage. Relative cost advantage with respect to this coffee thing, cost advantage is better with respect to China compared to India, because Indian expenditure with respect to this cost of manufacturing of that coffee, maybe even with respect to the concern of maintenance of that coffee, even with respect to the concern of wage payment here, is comparatively higher compared to China, correct? So you are going to decide how exactly relative advantage I'm going to enjoy with the low cost of production. That's one of the reasons to enter into this scenario of globalization. Third point is about a dilution of the local market. So do I need to dilute my local market? No, their intention is not that you need to dilute your local market. It is almost such like your concentration can be able to get spread it off across the globe. That is their intention. Globalization concept intention is that you can go for spreading your business across the globe. Okay, so even a fourth point is operating internationally. So what exactly operating internationally here it is all about? Anyways, I'm dealing with respect to the concern of this operations regularly, routinely. I'm managing all the amount of aspects into my routine, regular work. Okay. Do I need to make a separate part of operating internationally? 100% sure. Globalization is one of the concept which is going to support us into getting into all these scenarios and into helping us in terms of managing our trading activities across the globe. Okay, so probably buying and selling of activities. Maybe I can go for naming it some of the companies in India who have entered from many of the places. Maybe Japanese, they have entered into four-wheeler manufacturing segment. Probably even South Korea, they have entered into this manufacturing of four-wheeler vehicles. But do you completely agree that they are running a manufacturing plant here? No, it's an assembly line plant. Okay, so Hyundai is one of the company, one who is from North Korea, who has entered India. Do you think so that they are going to manufacture all those engines and many of the parts here? No, because that South Korean company, they are going to buy it, all those engine parts from their country. Even Japanese companies, they are going to buy those engine parts from their country. Okay, so rest of these amount of activities, what exactly they can able to do as like maybe molding of that particular metal sheet for the outer coating, even about the painting, even about the concern of some of the steering parts, some of the jack wheel part. So it is the thing where they are going to manufacture, they are going to collect it, buy it from India. Okay, so where it is almost such like we're operating internationally. That is one of the opportunity with the help of globalization. That's the reason people they are trying to get enter into globalization scenario. Even with respect to the concern of market expansion, yes, very much sure. This operating internationally has covered market expansion point. Okay, so when you are so strong with reference to your product, maybe either with the quality or also cost of manufacturing, yes, you will be having one of the opportunity for expanding your market across the globe when the potential of the company is available to manage both host country, sorry, home country first, then even host country also, then market expansion is going to take place very easily, correct? So even with respect to the concern of increased profit, when you are going to start managing with the amount of participants across the globe, very much sure your profit level is going to get enhanced. Sir, is that a sales maximization or profit maximization? Most of the students, they are going to raise this kind of question. Truly speaking, see, sales maximization which is going to get happen with the help of this market expansion activities. Okay, and it is also to be called as a profit maximization when you are going to tackle it in a strategic manner. Okay, so those strategies can be built by managers, you graduates. Okay, that's a major thing, instinct, what we need to cover it up here. Okay, it has certain stages of globalization. When we are going to enter into globalization, we do have four different stages. First thing is about strategic operation. Let me have a discussion about this basis of these stages. Then I can go for moving on to that particular domestic, national, international, all those. Okay. So when you are going to start looking forward into the concern of stages, first stage is based upon your strategy orientation. So how exactly a strategic business unit is going to get developed based upon your plan, your ideologies, your execution scenario, everything. Okay. Then about a stage of development. See, basically, some of the companies, they are going to feel that this product, what I'm producing, may not be much suitable for my domestic country. Let me export this. Maybe I can go for naming it organic food products. Basically, organic food products, whatever we do have, probably we are not going to have exposure towards that in India. Reason behind that, the cost of the product itself is higher side, and also we are not much based upon health conscious. Okay, so we are much conscious towards the cost of the product, price of the product. Okay, if the price is manageable to our budget, maybe that is sufficient for us. Correct? So, absolutely, when you are going to have that kind of sensitivity towards your stage of development of that particular business, then you need to take a call whether this product is suitable for our country or else which country it is suitable. You need to identify. Even cultural sensitivity. Okay, very much sure. When you are going to start looking after about this kind of aspects of cultural sensitivity, it is true that you need to decide what kind of cultural aspects I need to come up so that people can able to accept me. Correct? That is most important thing when we are going to accept or else when we are going to reject certain amount of products from our domestic area. Okay, even about managerial decisions, what kind of managerial decisions we are going to take and how faster we are in taking the managerial decisions, everything is going to be the potential matter. Okay, so let us take stages. First stage will be domestic stage. Domestic stage in the sense you will be having a relative participants in your particular domestic locality, and you are able to manage that particular business scenario profitably with good amount of sales. Then your thought process will be there, why can't I move with international? So what exactly the difference between this domestic and international? International is almost like where domestic resources will be utilized and sales activities are going to be getting expanded internationally. Correct? So it's almost like where you are trying to expand your activities through sales. Then, so what exactly the difference between international and multinational? That's a kind of question. One more. So multinational is almost such like you are trying to identify that particular host country where you can go and establish and you can able to sell it off your goods and services. Okay, sir, I'm getting confused. In international also I was able to sell it off internationally to other host countries, and multinational also you're conveying the message as such like I can sell it off in their home country or host country. Then what exactly the main difference? No, here in the international level you are having a existence of your particular aspect of production scenario into your home country only, and you are selling it off your goods and services as a sales perspective to other countries. Okay, you are not going to have a physical setup of your production plant in any of the other countries, correct? But multinational, you'll be having a production setup in other countries. Now you got the clarity over your point of view. Okay, then what exactly the global aspect here? Saying to the global aspect, you are trying to showcase that home country perspective, however you are taking care of your employees, however you are looking forward into the perspectives of that particular government, you will be taking the same concerns, same amount of showcase of emotions even into other country as like a global. Okay, so in that host country also, you will be acting as like a home country company in terms of making the payment of taxes, in terms of managing the healthcare activities over there, in terms of managing the particular amount of maybe interviewing the people, maybe making their admissions towards your own organization as an employee. So everything is going to be acting as like a home country company into host country. Then you will be called as global company. Okay, thank you. So with this perspective, we have covered only three aspects. One, it is about what exactly the meaning of globalization. Second thing is about some of the reasons are there to enter into globalization. And finally, we do have four different stages to be acting as a global company. Okay, one is about domestic, second one is international, third one is multinational, and the final one is global. Okay, and at the same moment of time, we do have a basis to manage all these things. Okay, thank you. So let us